Hello, and welcome to Chawton. This is behind me. I don't know how well you can see it. The house that Jane Austen lived in for a number of years with her sister Cassandra, and she wrote or edited and published essentially all six of her main novels in this house. And I've already been inside to have a look at everything at the museum. Yeah, it is essentially a museum now. I guess is how I would describe it. There's yeah, a great deal of work has been put into restore, to have like a replica of like, say, the wallpaper that used to be there, and there's a lot of interesting like objects and sort of exhibity aspects, and it has been such a joy to be here. I've also been up the road a little way is what sort of maybe what Jane would have called the Great House, where her brother and his family lived for some time, and so he gave this house for, I think, would have been his mother while she was alive, and his sister, unmarried sisters. Well, I guess his sisters. Neither of them married. Or there weren't other sisters. Anyway, so Cassandra and Jane lived here for quite a few years. Yeah. Oh, anyways, this is the Great House. I've been to see there as well, and I do recommend, if you're in the area, coming to see both. I think both are well worth seeing, and in both cases the grounds and the gardens are available as well, which is where I am now. Then at the sort of the gardens surrounding the smaller house. Yeah, known as Chawton Cottage. If I hadn't mentioned that yet. I've been wondering, trying to pick out what to read for you. I only brought Emma with me because I only had so much room in my suitcase, and I had to pick. And Emma is one of my favorites by Jane, and I like this copy. It's fairly simple, but like I like this copy. This whatever this edition is, and so I'm trying to remember which house it was in, because now I've just been to both. No, it was in the Great House. It was in sort of Chawton House and Chawton Cottage, are the two. And that there was also a kind of an exhibit there, and it was a book that Jane herself had read, the copy, and she'd underlined two words. I think it was something like pleasing seriousness or pleasant something. Anyway, which just, and another part, I don't think it was overall a book that she particularly liked or admired. Like I think some of her annotations or something were a bit snarky about it. So that something was stupid or something was far-fetched or things along those lines. But it struck me just that she'd underlined two words together, and because I just the night before had underlined two words together in Emma. I'd underlined unfeigned satisfaction. And I've been thinking about the power, the magic that just two words put together can be, how much can be expressed in that. And in the context of this is when Emma is first meeting Robert Martin, who admires her friend Harriet. And she thinks that Harriet is too good for him, and this guy's just a farmer and he's no good. So she's working to convince Harriet that he's not. That he's not worth her time. But in this, we have the description. They met Mr. Martin the very next day as they were walking on the Donwell Road. He was on foot, and after looking very respectfully at her, that is at Emma, looked with most unfeigned satisfaction at her companion. And just that contrast, I mean, because sometimes the narrative voice, because it's in what's called free and direct discourse, sort of takes on the perspective and opinions of the protagonist, and so there's a sense in which sometimes we're seeing her thoughts in how things are described. We're seeing the way Emma perceives things, but there's also this element in which the narrative voice is giving us more information or more a perspective maybe a little bit broader than Emma, or clues to maybe how we should also be perceiving this, because that's such a huge contrast between Robert Martin, unfeigned satisfaction, and Mr. Elton, because everything that Mr. Elton does has a kind of an artificialness to it, a sort of a kind of theatricalness to it. And so Emma wants Harriet to like Mr. Elton and to not like Robert Martin. But here we have, in our first meeting of Robert Martin, this thing that he's so delighted in Harriet and has such a strong affection for her, and it is unfeigned. And those two words, unfeigned satisfaction, I feel like reveal so much. And just so I think there was somewhere else too that I forgot and I didn't mark it down, where there was two words together that just I feel like they can convey so much. And I mean, it's part of the broader context, of course, but just thinking of the power. I wanted to read a little section over here from a conversation that also I feel like is significant and sort of foreshadows a lot of the key things that happen in the book. It's a conversation between Mr. Knightley and Mrs. Weston, who was Emma's former governess, and Mr. Knightley has been kind of sharing his concerns about Emma's friendship with Harriet, and his concern that they will each do each other harm, which does end up kind of becoming the case. Like, they definitely, their friendship, there is definitely some hurt and some unfortunate things that result from it. So he is judging well. And then there's a bit that's a kind of I don't know if ironic is the right word, but an interesting foretelling as well. Anyway, but he has just been convinced by Mrs. Weston to not try to interfere, because Emma's going to do what Emma's going to do. You can't really stop it. Anyway, but then he goes on to say he agrees. He accepts that. He goes on to say, I have a very sincere interest in Emma. Isabella does not seem more my sister, has never excited a greater interest, perhaps hardly so great. There is an anxiety, a curiosity in what one feels for Emma. I wonder what will become of her. So do I, said Mrs. Weston gently. Very much. She always declares that she will never marry, which of course means nothing at all. But I have no idea that she has yet seen a man she cared for. It would not be a bad thing for her to be very much in love with a proper object. I should like to see Emma in love, and in some doubt of a return. It would do her good. But there is nobody hereabouts to attach her, and she goes so seldom from home. There does indeed seem as little to tempt her to break her resolution at present, said Mrs. Weston, as can well be. So that's just like a little jump into Emma. I've been enjoying reading Emma while I've been on the train down here, and then while I've been hanging around in the spots. And yes, I wanted to share with you a little bit of my Austen adventures. I got to see there's a really cool library up at the Chawton House, and I got to talk with the lady Sally, who was helping to take care of it, to see what a great collection it was. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you around, probably back in Canada next time.